Om Mahyanatimanasya Chinansalansalakaya Saksarangritam Yena Tasmai Shigurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamani. Namaste Saraswata Deve Gauravani Pacharani Nirvishesha Srinyavadi Paskachaya Dasatani Srila Prabhupada Ki. So this is the second part of the Bhakti Shastri teacher training course. Today we will go over Bhakti Shastri materials and also look at assessments that, as I was explaining yesterday, in the early 90s, in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, a group of devotees worldwide, they looked at how to organize and teach the Bhakti Shastri course. And they came up with these 12 aims, which we discussed yesterday. But they also produced a wonderful set of materials for teaching Bhakti Shastri. And at least I found it very helpful. Of course, that does not mean that you don't need your own materials and your own study and preparation. But this is very helpful teaching. So teaching Bhakti Shastri means 4 books. It's the Bhagavad Gita, Shishopanishad, Upadesamrita, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. These are the 4 books. And usually we divide the Bhakti Shastri course in different modules. Originally, these devotees who made these VTE materials, Vaishnava Teaching and Education, that was their name. These VTE materials, their Bhakti Shastri was divided in 4 modules. And the first module were the first 9 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. The next module is the last 9 chapters of the Gita. That's the second. And the third module were the 3 other books: Nectar of Instruction, the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and the Shishopanishad. And the 4th module was thematic. There certain themes were discussed, covering the 4 books, putting them together. That's called thematic themes. We will see some of these themes already in the Bhagavad Gita. In the student handbook, you find also 16 themes of Bhagavad Gita. But many times institutions, movements, they started to divide it differently. And there are for the Bhagavad Gita 3 modules. The first module is the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, then the middle 6 chapters, And the third module is the last 6 chapters of the Gita. Because these are going together. That the first 6 chapters are more about Karma Yoga, mainly. The middle 6 chapters, they are about Bhakti. And then the last 6 chapters is mostly about Jnana. So they are going together. So that's also a possibility, that how to divide them. Now we will start looking at these materials, VTE materials. And then after that, we will look after all kinds of materials you can use and assessment methods at the end. Good. I will share now the screen. So this is the files, and you have access to these files. You can view them. I posted it in the WhatsApp group together with the password to access it. So first we will look at syllabus here. And then you see on the screen syllabus 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You see that? And so these are 4 modules. Syllabus 1 is the first 9 chapters of the Gita. Syllabus 2 is the last 9 chapters of the Gita. Syllabus 3 is Nectar of Instruction, Nectar of Devotion, and She's Upanishad. And 4 is thematic model. So these are 4 syllabus. If you click like on syllabus 1, you will see you get 9 sections. What is in each section? How do we know? A tip how to remember what's in each of these sections. It's mentioned in section 0. You click on it, and there you have a file. And I open this file. See on the screen syllabus 1, not sure. That overviews, themes, and key verses, you see it? Or no? Then, moment. Then you should see it now. Yeah. So you have these 9 sections. Here you have overviews of the sections. Section 2 is themes and key verses, lesson outlines and additional materials for the lesson outlines, worksheets with answers, thus for the students, homework questions and answers. 7 is charts. 8 is formal assessment. We won't look at it. I will show you different methods of assessment you can apply. And then report sheets. I will show you my own report sheets, which I'm using, which I used for many years teaching Bhakti Shastri. Good. So syllabus 0, you find this. Well, in the first file of syllabus 1, you find this overview. Now I want to go back to the files here. You see section 3. Section 3 is the most important section always, because section 3 has the lesson outlines. We will look at lesson outlines and how to read them, how to understand them, and how to use them. Section 3. There you can get it in Word file or PDF. I will start the PDF. Now, stop share, share again, and then I show you the PDF. Here is the PDF on the screen. So it starts with chapter 1, lesson 1. Dharmakshatra, Kurukshetra, Sama, Veda, Yutsava. Pandavas, Mamaka, Pandavas Shiva. Kimakuruvata Sanya. I think that's the verse. Yeah. Dharmakshatra, Kurukshetra, Sama, Veda, Yutsava. Mamaka, Pandavas Shiva, Kimakuruvata Sanya. So you see here in the beginning, an overview, a summary of the section which we will cover. The section you have to present in your lesson. That it is from verses 1 to 13. So Dhritarashtra questions Sanjaya about the events that took place at Kurukshetra. Sanjay describes how Duryodhana, using diplomacy, solves the dilemma of encouraging Drona with insulting Bhima and others. Bhima relish his soldiers with the sound of his conch shell, yet the symbolism of the conch shell indicates their defeat. That's a summary. You can make your own summary. Usually, most of the part of this section is the Duryodhana Gita, that Duryodhana is speaking to Dronacharya and so on. So you see here SG. What does that mean? So that means suggestion. If you go further, you will find suggestions here. So you know here, suggestion at the end, when there is SG, there will be a suggestion. What is a suggestion? You may wish to mention, if not already, that the Bhagavad Gita is divided into 3 portions. The first 6 chapters, the second 6 chapters, and the third 6 chapters. For more details, please refer to section 1 of the syllabus. In a lecture, Srila Prabhupada gave the example of a book. There are 2 hardcovers, and in the middle there is the substance, writing. So in the first 6 chapters, they are just like 2 coverings, Karma and Jnana Yoga. And the middle 6 chapters, well protected, that is Bhakti Yoga. So if we go here, I think in the beginning is the lesson outlines. And here is the meaning of all these abbreviations. MP is main point, this verse or a point associated with it. And when you find quote, QT, quotes, that means there's a quote on this verse in the quote book. We will look at the quote books. And this is additional reference that you find that in the lesson outline, suggestion, and OHT. There is a chart connected with this verse in section 8. So that's important information. In each section, you find the recommended focus of learning and the possible learning experiences, the interaction with the students. Very interesting. So here you see, yeah, it also all these 12 SHASEC aims, we have abbreviations here, and they are mentioned to which verses they are applicable. There are a few more. TRR, taste, appreciation, and relevance. SSK, study skills. Anyway, so suggestion that we got. And here in the teacher is recommended for the teacher to read paragraph 3 of the purport. In the purport there are 3 paragraphs. You cannot read everything. That we count 1, 2, 3, and there you have the word Dharmakshatra. A place where religious rituals are performed is significant, because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna, and so on. You read this paragraph, or you ask a student to read it, and here is a reminder of what's going on, the essence. Dhritarashtra asked the question, what did they do? Because he was doubtful about his son's victory due to the influence of the holy place of Kurukshetra, his question reveals his mentality of wanting to separate the sons of Pandu from the family heritage by claiming only his sons as Kaurus and excluding the Pandavas. Since Krishna was present in the religious field of Kurukshetra, the virtuous Yudhishthira and his brothers would certainly be victorious over the irreligious sons of Dhritarashtra. So that is really the essence you have to present to the students. And that you can, there are interesting quotes on this verse by Prabhupada. Now, these quotes, here you have different quotes for different verses. Here you find also quotes, so many quotes. Where do we find these quotes? We go back. Go back here. So these are the 4 syllables. Syllabus 1 to 4. But we have here a book of quotes, right? 1 to 3. Why 1 to 3? Book of quotes for Model 1, the first 9 chapters. Book of quotes for Model 2, the next 9 chapters of the Gita. And then book of quotes for Nectar of Instruction, Sisa Upanishad, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So we go to book of quote 1, and we open it. I will show you. It's still loading. Moment, coming. Okay, I share that now with you. So here you have the book of quotes. We find the reference to verse 1. Why is he asking the question, Kimakurvata? What did they do? He was very anxious about whether they had changed their decision. Otherwise, there was no question of asking Kim Akurvata. It's just like if you are giving food, if I ask somebody, such and such gentleman was served with nice dishes. What did they do? This is a foolish question. He would eat. That's all. So here you find all these quotes for each verses. Usually what I do, either I print them out and I have them with me, or I put them on my iPad so that I can consult them while going to the lesson. So that's a nice material. The Buddhists who make this material, they scrambled all the lectures of Prabhupada and made that for us. Essential quotes. In practice, you cannot read all these quotes. So before your lesson, you go to the quotes and you write down which quotes you will use. Because otherwise, your lesson will be too long. So, but this is the book of quotes for each chapter, for each verse. Practically, there are quotes. Very nice material. So I'm going back here. So, book of quotes. We are going back to the syllabus. Syllabus 1. And the lesson outlines is section 3. That's where we were. And we start the lesson outline again. I will again share it with you, the lesson outline. Here, the lesson outline. So you can go further like that. Text 3 is AR. It's additional reference. If you look here, that means further at the end you find an additional reference, the story of the quarrel between Drupada and Drona. One who offends his guru is sure to be defeated. And here you have the quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam. So when Indra offended Brihaspati, the demigods became vulnerable and were easily defeated by the demons. Here you have some. If you go back here, it means summary. It's not mentioned here. It means summary in the section 4. You will find a summary, or in the section 1. Not sure that. But interesting at the end, focus of learning. So this is the students should understand. Does the aim understanding? So sorry. Understanding should understand especially the Duryodhana's diplomacy, an outline of the Gita, that how verse 12 connects to text 1. And then that's army, that is the army is academic and moral integrity. That how to study the scripture. So these are all things you can use. If you follow this outline, more or less, then you will be sure you present all the essential things you have to present to the students. Your lesson will be complete. Otherwise, something you may miss. And then, of course, we teach in our lesson plan. We have if this is a lesson of 90 minutes, we have We go to the section for maybe 50 minutes, and then there are discussions. Important to have discussions with the students so that they can internalize it. If they participate, they will gain much more than just hearing. That's these are possible group discussions. What is the aim of this group discussion here? To help students appreciate that motivated interpretations can apply to them and not merely to those outside of ISKCON. That So one can have motivated interpretations. That's putting our own motivations or using description in a way to get our own aims, our own goals met. So then there are things you can discuss. Our scripture is misused outside ISKCON. You can break the students into pairs and ask them to identify and write specific ways we can misuse scripture. Then consolidate that list. Get the students to identify results of misuse within our society. Ask students to identify possible benefits of a class of devotees who use scripture honestly. These are possible ways of interacting with the students. Of course, it's related to this section. We have the diplomacy of Duryodhan, and then Dhritarashtra is asking this question, and he has his own motivations. That very clearly. Mamaka Pandavashiva. They are my sons and the sons of Pandav. And it's important, like in the beginning, that you ask the students to keep a portfolio. It's like portfolio is like a notebook with sections. And in one section, they list all the knowledges they come across during the study. That and then on another section, they can have all arguments against Mayavadi philosophy. Another section, they can taste appreciation, it is said here. And another section can personal application, how things that I can apply in my life. That so you can have more sections like that, also thematic. That because students will have to write essays. Essays, there are different themes that like Shastra Saksum. They can keep a section on Shastra Saksum, how to see through the scriptures. Other sections about understanding that or knowledge, the noting keywords of things they have to remember. But it's important to organize their own notes from the beginning, because they have to answer essay questions, write essays, and if they have already kept notes on some of these themes, it will be easily to write. Like they can keep a section on the different, understanding the different yoga systems. That so this is just one section we looked at. The purpose of my presentation is that you know how to use these materials. Because if we go further, if we go back, like section 5, that show it. Yeah, it gives for each lesson additional ideas. I will show it. Here, for lesson 2, possible learning experiences. It's called an overflow section. There's too much information, and they added all additional information that can help you how to organize the lessons. Then yes, then we have further in this section 5. Section 5 is worksheets. I'll share it with you. Now the worksheets, this is for the first 9 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, well, this syllabus 1. And that's in the student handbook, which is going together with these materials, that they have the worksheet without answers. So what's underlined here, they have to fill in. And you get the answers, so you can ask them to to fill in their worksheets and send it to you or discuss it next time. That so these are worksheets. You can decide to use them or not. That yeah, you have done chapter 2. Yeah, these are all the answers of the worksheets. That but you find them in the student handbook. That yeah, that's you have that for the first 9 chapters. Interesting. And then that was section 5. Section 6. Section 6 is homework, I think. Homework questions and answers. You have different kind of questions, context specific or generic. Generic you can use for every section. You can ask the students for next time to prepare, choose one verse from this section which you find difficulty understanding. Examine and explain why. That so you have all this. You can choose one generic question that or choose a verse or passage from the section which you feel enhances your faith and conviction. So these are that generic questions. And then you have the content specific. So why is Bhagavad Gita the perfect theistic science? Because it has been spoken by Lord Krishna, who is the Supreme Lord. It's not from human origin, it comes from the divine source. That why is Dhritarashtra fearful about the outcome of the battle? Because it was at a holy place and so on, and a few things more. So these are the questions, and then you have the answers. The students have only the questions. You have also the answers. So you can ask them to do their homework and submit it or whatever. These are interesting materials you can use. Now, section 7. Charts. Here you find charts, not like in color charts for each of the sections. Like I take one of the 7th chapter that I will show you. Okay, stop, share, and here it is. It's the on verse 7:4. This is a nice chart that you can present. It's a PowerPoint, so you can show it on the screen. So you have many charts you can use. Nice materials. Good. Let's see. I think that's it, because then 8 and 9 is about evaluation, but I will show you my way, the way I did it, and others, different ways of evaluation. So this is the materials from the VTE. And now we will look at different Bhakti Shastri materials and also look at assessments, ways of assessing that. Let's see, we'll have to go to Bhakti Shastri TTC. So in Bhagavad Gita, like I said, you have a 2-module system. You can divide the Gita in the first 9 chapters and then the last 9 chapters, but you can also have 3 modules. First 6 chapters, middle 6 chapters, and last 6 chapters. We will first look at the 2-module system, or yeah, it doesn't matter. Let's go to the 3-module system. And here we see different things. Essays, exams, homework, PowerPoints, processing results. That the first thing is PowerPoints. That's materials that I made. Bhagavad Gita course materials, chapters 1 to 6 and 13. Yeah, these are just examples that for each chapter. Like chapter 3, I give you an example. Share that. So these are the materials I made for chapter 3. Many times we teach also online, then certainly that's a very practical thing. But what I did is I not only presented the teachings, but also commentaries of our acharyas on Bhagavad Gita, and also the reflections that so like introduction to chapter 3 van Vishwanath Chakravarti, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Srila Prabhupada. That so in the third chapter, action offered to the Lord without personal desire is described. Vishwanath and Baladev. The third chapter explains in detail Nishkam Karma. And then Prabhupada, Lord Krishna explains in the third chapter Karma Yoga, or working Krishna consciousness. Then you have the introduction that so the chapter 3 deals with the discrimination necessary for a person desiring to conquer lust and anger, is shown. And Baladev Vidyabhushan. Here also the method of conquering lust, which is normally very difficult to conquer, is described. And then I give an overview of the section. You have also the lesson outlines that you have, that I showed you on the VTE materials. You can use that. But it's good to make also your own materials. I don't share these materials with anyone. The idea is you make your own materials. Then you are most acquainted with it. But it's good to start always with an overview of the section you are going to discuss. So that gives the students a guidance that, okay, that is discussed in this section. That like I put here on top this section, prescribed duties for Vishnu, karma, and jnana are incompatible. Karma yoga is superior to renunciation. Karma as sacrifice to Vishnu frees one from the bondage of war. So that's described in this section. That and practically each important sectional verse, a few keywords, what's going on, and then in the next slide, 3.4, without performance of prescribed karmas, a person cannot attain purity. Just by renunciation of activities, an impure person cannot attain perfection. That's from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So what's the purpose here of it? Why do I present this previous acharyas? No, I'm presenting Prabhupada's teachings, and I follow this outline of the PTE materials, but I use this as additional material to show how Prabhupada's purports are based on our previous acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and for Baladev Vidyabhushan especially. That is from Vishwanath, Baladev, Srila Prabhupada. Without purification of the heart, sannyas is simply a disturbance to the social order. But then I have always reflections between. Reflections. You have to make the student think about these verses. What does it mean for me? And these reflections, they help with that. Bhakti Shastra is not just to get to do an exam and an assessment. No, it's churning in the heart. Transformation of the heart. We want to transform the students so that after this course, they have made tangible advancement. That and have a lot of tools with them. So how, due to my impure heart, I become a disturbance for others? We have certainly been all experienced that in the past. A reflection about that. I call it Gita life teachings. See at the back. That and then detachment. Do you think that all that I have belongs to me? If not, who is the proprietor? Then what is the meaning? If it's not mine, so what is the meaning of real detachment? So that's, you can use your, there are so many verses, you make them attraction, don't put too much text on it. Mainly slogans, make them think about things. So yeah, so many things. So you can make your own materials that and put your heart on it, all your teaching skills to help the students. Good. That stop sharing with that. Then we go back to our materials. That were materials that I used. Bhagavad Gita. I've also for myself the Gaudiya commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. I made them. I speak also sometimes in the Bhakti Shastri course that takes just a few minutes. That because many times that devotees, they are not aware who the commentators are on Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada based his commentaries on commentators. Who are these Vaishnava commentators? So it's good to take some time a bit and explain the students who these commentators are. Of course, we start with Prabhupada, Baladev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So that is one slide here. Moment. And that's the more elaborate, I think. Yeah, here. That should share. Here it is. Oh. Here, this is the life of Baladev Vidyabhushan, just in a few slides, explaining who he is. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also. That is usually, I present them so that they know who they are. You are not obliged to go into these things, but I've been teaching this course for many years, and I wanted to go a little deeper than just on the surface and present them something more. Now, if we look at Bhagavad Gita, the assessment. So first you have the closed book exams. This is a 3-module system. The exams that closed book exam for the first 6 chapters of the Gita. I will bring that on the screen. Here it is. Short answers, 100 points. So this is going to test memory and recall knowledge, aim of knowledge, that so it does short questions like, please explain the significance of Arjuna calling Krishna, Rishikesh Achyuta Govinda. List 4 reasons given by Arjuna for not fighting in the first chapter. So these are 2 questions, 6 points, 4 points. And so you have, and I'm asking 3 slokas, that Sanskrit verse and translation for following verses. That's so you have this questions, and normally it's at they get maximum 90 minutes. No use of book or phone, please. You can do that in different ways. If it's on site, yes, that's straightforward. They come and sit for the exam. If it's online, you ask them to come online and put on their camera, and you send them the questions to WhatsApp or whatever, and they write it and send you within 90 minutes a picture. That anyway, that's different ways of doing exams, but important is the questions here. What is the cycle of sacrifice? Explain, and so on. So that's called closed book exam. The testing knowledge, recall, and also to some extent understand. But short answer questions. Yes. Homework. Yeah, that is homework questions and the answers. I ask them to write homework. I make my own homework sometimes. That then I'm asking to submit it. That yeah, you don't see it. I think I show it. So this is homework questions. That is the homework questions. Then you have in a separate sheet the answers of the homework questions. That so yeah, you have the answers. So I've just to compare their homework with the answers. So let's see, it's a lot of materials. So we discussed the closed book exam already of this section, and the homework, but now you have also, there's a closed book exam, the homework, the essay writing. So this is like essay writing for the first 9 chapters. First, I to introduce essay writing to students, first you need to speak about guidelines, how to write an essay. That's important. Guidelines. Moment. I'll show it to you. Yeah. Guidelines. So I tell them no subtitles in your essays. Mention your name and essay question on each page. Because many times they forget to put their name. That's the problem. Then you don't know from where it comes. Before writing your essay, please study the meaning of these aims in your student handbook, because essays are related to a certain aim. That because that's something we forgot to. I'll show you the student handbook. So use page numbers if you have more than one page. Footnotes can be used only for short reference, example of Bhagavad Gita 247 or Srimad Bhagavatam 123. Please do not use footnotes to cite verses, complete verses, or copy or references, just reference to the verse number. Structure. The first part of the paragraph is your introduction. In a few lines, explain your crucial question and the method you will use for answering the crucial questions. Ideal is that the introductory paragraphs contain only 2 sentences stating your crucial question and the method you will use. And then in the middle part, you present 1 paragraph for each argument that you mention in the introduction. Within the paragraph, you can discuss related subpoints. And then at the end, there must be a conclusion. You must answer the question which you have put in the introduction. That you give them a deadline. That is it. Yes. Guidelines for writing as Bhakti Shastri. Stop. I first go back to the VT materials, the files, which there I've got 1 point, and that's the student and teacher and students books. They are there, the student handbook. Just look at the student handbook. So I will share that. There's a student handbook. So go to the beginning. Yeah. So what we find here, yeah, there's a whole introduction. And then this is the way how the course is structured, but you structure your course in your own way, in different modules, can be different. The VTE method is nice, but yeah. The 12 aims, the students have these 12 aims. And yeah, we discussed that yesterday. But if you go further, this we all discussed yesterday. Here you have these aims, these 12 aims, and for each of these aims, they have to write an essay. And you have to tell them the goal of these essays, you have to reach your aim. And how to reach it is explained here, so they should study this before writing their essay. That's the point. That a lot of information. Now, there's a lot of information in that student handbook, but what's important is I show you it's at the end. I think it's here. I think it's before, a little before. Because there's a section, there are summaries of each. There are the key memorization verses. So this is here 150 key thematic verses. That and you have here from 1 to 12, but there are 5A, 5B, in total 16 themes in Bhagavad Gita. That like the soul and transmigration, we find in the 2nd chapter in these verses, in the 5th chapter in these verses. In the 8th chapter, Krishna speaks also about the soul. In the 13th chapter, in these verses, 14th chapter, 15th chapter. So that's all about the soul, information about the soul. So you have that if you want, to know how to receive knowledge, you find that mainly in the 4th chapter, in the beginning of the 7th chapter, Mayasik Samanaparta, and then the 9th chapter, and the 10th chapter in these verses. So that's very interesting, that these major themes, that then you have also key memorization verses. Here, these are about 150 key verses, but there are 27 which are important, and they should memorize, ideally, these 27. And you find them here. You find these 150 verses, but the verses they have to memorize, really recommended for memorization, they are underlined. So 213, dat is de ene sminchitati kamram chavam cha tatadendra papeti astataman muchati. And 327, pragatikriyaman igunikamana sablanka vivimudat makartamiti manyate. That. And the 42, evam pabra praptam. So these are verses they have to memorize. You find them in this chart, that all these key memorization verses, they are underlined. But that is what I would say is important to know about the student handbook. That yes. But then we go back to our essay writing. We were, essays. So the essays cover all these aims. That so essay question model 1. Yeah. I will bring that on the screen. So they have to write an essay for personal application. That please select one of the following 3 questions. So this is a closed book exam. They get these questions and they get 90 minutes to answer it. And they have to choose one of these questions on personal application and answer it, only one. And then here, for preaching application, there are 4, and you select one of these 4. And then understanding, they can select from 2. They select one and answer the question. Answer the questions that Yeah. I write approximately 1 page for each of the question. That's a way to, for the closed book exam, that but then yeah, then you have the essays they can write. So I mean, this essay writing, these questions, they can use the book. It's open book exam, factually. Sorry, the open book. But then you can also give essay questions they can write at home. Like here, paper B. No, that's not this one. Just a moment. It's paper C. Yeah, okay. I share that with you now. So, how is studying Bhagavad Gita, as it is in chapters 1 to 9, deepened your understanding of Srila Prabhupada's Muda mission? That's Muda mission. That's an essay of 2 pages. And different questions. They can choose a question. There is also the each board for examination started um, a, a bank, a question bank with authorized questions, essay questions, and you can consult that. You have to write to Ministry of Education for that. But they have also a lot of materials you can use. And that's online. That we go back. That's the essay writing. So we have closed book. Those are short questions and sloka writing. And that's testing, memorization, recall, knowledge, understanding. But then you have essay writing. These are going more to test the application, personal application, and personal application and reaching application, and then the values, mood and mission, Shastra Shakshu, and so on. That so the essays are open book, either open book or they can write it at home and submit it before a deadline. Now processing results is important. You get all the results of this exam. You have to mark them. That's another question. We may not come to that today, but processing results. So this is a result sheet I used for model 1. And I will show that on the screen if it pops up here. It's still coming. Oh yeah, I see. Just a moment. And so this is how I keep the results. This is a result sheet. And you have the name of the students, the year. And this is from the first module, the first 9 chapters of the Gita. These were the questions on his closed book exam. And here This, the total of each question is 10. And here you type is results. Okay. 8, 9, 10. And I made it as such that, and also the slokas is 20 when it's complete. How to do this assessment we will discuss further. That, and then you get here the result of the closed book exam in percentage and in total of the totality of the module. The totality is here 100%. So you have, but you have the closed book, the open book, and the SS. So that here at the left are the results for the student for the closed book in its percentage here. And then here at the right, you have first this is the open book exam essay questions. And then here you have 3 more essays that they wrote, that they were writing at home. And yeah, we have seen in the standards yesterday that also presence and Vaishnava behavior is important. So normally, I count it at 5% here, and if there are no complaints, if they are nicely behaving, then they get 5%, the maximum. And that's the total of the module for this student, 81%. So you keep the idea is just here that you keep your results for each student in a specific way. And that specific way you determine yourself. It depends how you organize the exam and the questions and so on. But according to the standards of the ISCOM board for an examination, there must be a closed book exam and there must be an open book exam and essay writing. All three should be there. That and stop sharing here. That so yes, these are the results. But now we will have to speak about more specific assessment, especially assessments of the exams that and how to mark the essays that so this was the organization of Bhagavad Gita, but like Upadeshamrita, yeah, you make also the same, your own materials that like I show you one example of my materials, nectar of instruction, that yeah, that's nectar of instruction, but was get an overflow of information here. That's nectar of instruction. You have but there's some sheets of Upanishad materials, like the invocation. Yep. Um, Just a moment. Struggling with getting things right here. Okay. Share now. Stop share. Yeah. Now it will come. This Upanishad invocation. Yeah, this is an overview from the invocation from the purport of Prabhupada for each paragraph, the levels of realization. Yeah, so I'm using my own slides. You make your own slides, your own materials. No need to show all these things. And, yeah. Good. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, about the results. So for each module, you make your own system to keep track of the results. And this is an example of everything fits together. Model 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 is Bhagavad Gita. Model 4 is thematic. Mostly I present thematic. At the end of the course, I'm asking to students to write one essay on a topic. I give them essay questions of a topic or some, I let them choose, but they should cover the 4 books within that theme or topic and write an essay of 3-4 pages. That's a thematic. I make also presentations after teaching the 4 books about certain themes and where you find them in different books. And yeah, and how to use them in preaching. This is optional, but this is the results, and it comes to one figure, one percentage, 78% here in that case. And you can give them a grade, pass, honors, high honors. And that honors is usually till 58% and above. 85% and above is high honors. That under 75 is or 70 is pass or something. You get that there are different ways of doing that. But so yes, what we will do tomorrow, because time is short. Stop share. Tomorrow we will speak about assessment and your assignment. Assessment. You receive this additional documents and it's here to share with students. Okay, it's here. It's here to share with students. these documents you received, that, and we will discuss them tomorrow, that how to assess the assessment part. That's for tomorrow. And we will discuss also tomorrow, yeah, the presentation you will have to make, and the lesson plan you have to write, and so on. That's for tomorrow. So I showed you a lot of materials. Any questions, comments? Is everything clear?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask something because I found it very nice how you prepared all these various quotes and how you also found commentaries from the previous acharya so that you can prove how Prabhupada also was just trying to emphasize what they say and that they are in the same disciplic succession and so on. So my comment or question is like, it seems like it takes a lot of time to read all these books and prepare all these materials to have something so wonderful like you prepared. So because you say that we should prepare our own materials, but sometimes maybe we don't have the capacity to read through all those books and so on. So do you have some advice or?
My advice is the first time you teach these books, make it simple. Use these VTE materials, and but read yourself to the section, prepare it well, and do some additional research. But I'm studying Bhagavad Gita for 35 years every day, and but through the years, to giving thousands of lectures, you get some more experience, and you want to share that at a certain moment, and then that develops naturally. But there's no need to jump to that higher level from the beginning. That will come. That if you once you have deeper insights, that yeah, that I'm just showing that how the different options, because there's a danger if we try to present that and we don't have yet sufficient experience with Srila Prabhupada's purports, that we ourselves are misinterpreting things. First, we grounded in Prabhupada's Siddhanta, and then other acharyas can come in. But I'm using these other acharyas mainly to show how Prabhupada his commentaries are based on it, that they say the same thing. That's all. And yeah. And hearing these commentaries is interesting. Interesting how the Guru Parampara says, entire Guru Parampara says the same thing. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So,
I've,
yes, Vishwambar.
I'm wondering, have you given Bhakti Shastri courses where you have sometimes guest teachers, and how do you work with that? Or I suppose, yeah, sometimes it seems like we'll have a different style or may cover certain things and not others, and maybe you have something, yeah, could say on that, or
Well,
I don't know.
I must say that in the beginning, mostly I was teaching the entire Bhakti Shastri course myself. I did it in Leicester, I did it in Bulgaria, in different countries, sometimes with translation, not easy. That, but then later on, like I started also to teach for other institutions, and now we have the Ibmvl Vidyalaya. And Ibmvl Vidyalaya has a lot of experience, especially in India, and they have their own assessment teams and so on. It's much more structured than and that. And there I'm just teaching, and I'm not involved in any assessment anymore. That they organize that all themselves. They have their assessments team, and the students write their assessment, and it goes to India, and they are assessing it. But they have a good system with a lot of experience behind, and I think generally it's better to work with such institutions who have experience. That if we have to organize everything ourselves, like I did in the beginning, it was a struggle, it was not ideal, but you become more expert through the years. That and by that it's developed like that. But yeah, that's my comment I would give on that. Does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'm just sharing my experience and all the possible, today especially, all the possible materials you can use. But this VTE system is very nice, but we are not saying this is the best system or whatever. You can use your own system of teaching, but if you want to be 2% high quality, these VTE materials are very helpful. Something else. Okay, then we will look at assessment tomorrow and your assignments. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Sai
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Sai